welcome to this session on grammar. Today we are going to look at the different parts of speech in the English language. All the words in English can be divided into 8 or more groups depending on their function in the language. These groups are traditionally called the parts of speech and are today referred to as the lexical categories or word classes. Every English user must be familiar with the parts of speech in order to understand how language works to create meaning. In this session, we will look at the different parts of speech briefly. They will be dealt with in detail in the upcoming sessions. Before we start the session, let us look at the objectives of this session. At the end of the session, you will be able to identify the different parts of speech, understand their form and function, and be able to use them appropriately in different contexts. There will be practice tests in between. Let us begin with the nouns. Now, what is a noun? A noun is a word that refers to a thing, a person, an animal, a place, a quality, or an idea. That is the traditional meaning that we have. And there are 4 kinds of nouns that we can look at today. Let us start with the proper nouns. Now, proper nouns are usually the names of people and locations. Let us look at some examples so that you understand them better. Meena and Prem. Meena and Prem are names of 2 people, so they are proper nouns. And then we have Bangalore. Bangalore is the name of a particular city, so it is a proper noun. Red Fort, a historical monument, again it is a proper noun. And Ganga. Ganga is the name of a river. So any name, it could be the name of a place, person or thing or monument, it is a proper noun. And did you notice that all these proper nouns are in capitals? That is the special feature of proper nouns. We use capitals to write them. Of course, in speaking, we don't. It doesn't matter whether you know it or not. Let us talk about common nouns. Common nouns, as the name itself indicates, are about generic things. Let us look at some examples. Man, girl. We don't know who we are talking about. It could be any man, it could be any girl. So it is a common noun. And then school. School, it could be any school. The name of the school is not given. Similarly, city, river, mountain, they are all common nouns. We could be referring to any city, any mountain, any river, or anybody. So they are common. And did you notice? None of these common nouns are capitalized. That is the difference between the common noun and the proper noun. We don't use capitals for common nouns. And then come the abstract nouns. Now, abstract nouns are usually ideas and concepts. Now, that's why they are called abstract. And anything that you can't touch, feel, is an abstract noun. Let us look at these examples. Joy. So, pride. You can't touch it, you can't feel, you can't see it. And then boredom, love, happiness, they are all abstract nouns. And even emotions are abstract nouns. And then we go on to the concrete nouns. Now, concrete nouns are actually the opposite of an abstract noun. If you just look around you and see if you can see things, then they're all concrete nouns. For example, I can see chairs here, there's a clock, and there is a desk. So they are all concrete nouns because I can see them and I can touch them. And that is about nouns. Now, the unique feature of nouns is that they are the largest group of words in the English language. And a noun is a word, like we said, it can refer to a book, which is a thing, a city, a place, or a person. And common nouns are, like we saw, they don't have capitals. That is the very unique feature that you have to understand. And now, how do we know whether a word is a noun? A good way to identify a noun is to ask, can I have it? And if the answer is yes, then it is a common noun. For example, you can have success, but you can't have succeed. So here, success is a common noun and succeed is a verb. In this case, it is a verb. So that is about nouns. Let us move on to a practice test now. Now that you have looked at the proper nouns and common nouns and you know the features, let us do some quick practice. You can pause the video while you do the test. Let's look at the answers. Let's take the first sentence. The people rush towards a railway station. Now, railway station is a common noun. Is the name of the railway station given? No. So it is definitely a common noun. Let's move on to the second example. Prem has left for his village. Prem is the name of a particular person, and we know all name of a person is definitely a proper noun. I'm sure you got this right. And let's move on to the next one. Radha has a lot of interest in her work. Interest. Can you see it? Can you touch it? No. So definitely it is an abstract noun. The children love to swim in the river. Now, river is a common noun. Why is it a common noun? Because we don't have the name of the river. It is just a river. It could be any river in the world. So it is a common noun. Have you read the book Moby Dick? Moby Dick is the name of a particular book. So again, it becomes a proper noun. And did you notice? It is in capitals. My father has a lot of knowledge on linguistics. Knowledge. It is an abstract noun. I'm sure you have understood what abstract nouns are by now. You can't touch it. You can't see it. So it is an abstract noun. The next sentence, have you seen the Niagara Falls? Here we have the name of the fall, Niagara Falls. So definitely it is a proper noun. And then the eighth one, I usually take the metro to work. Metro here is a common noun because the name of the metro station is not mentioned. It could be any metro in the world. So it is a common noun. Perseverance is the key to success. It is an abstract noun. And you know the rule for the abstract noun. How do you find out whether it is an abstract noun? You can't touch it, you can see it, and then it becomes an abstract noun. Do you know when the Chennai Express leaves? Chennai Express is the name of a particular train. So it is a proper noun. If it is just a train, then it could have been a common noun. Since the name of the train is mentioned here, we say it is a proper noun. It is important to have an ambition in life. Again, it is an abstract noun. I did not have time to read the newspaper this morning. Newspaper. Is the name given? No. It is just a newspaper. It could be any newspaper in the world. So it is a common noun. So that is, I'm sure you have got them all right. You can go back to the video and redo the practice test to become more familiar with the usage. Let us move on to the next part of speech, the verbs. Now, what is a verb? A verb is a doing word that shows an action, an event, or a state. That is the definition of a verb. Verbs can also be classified into three categories. For example, there are action words. What is an action word? Look at the example here. The children play in the park in the evening. Now, play is an action. Like jump, they jumped on the bed, or she ran quickly, or she cut the vegetables. They are all actions. So whenever there is an action that is happening, we call them an action verb. And then you have occurrence verbs. What are they? Let us look at this example. She graduated last year. So it is an occurrence. Now, it is an event that happened last year, like getting married or celebrating a birthday. They are all occurrences. So that is another kind of verb that we have. And then we have the state of being. For example, the flowers are bright. Now, the flowers are bright. It is a way that it is. So, flowers are bright. The sun rises. They are all states of being. And now, how do you find out whether a word is a verb? Definitely, there is a way. All you have to do is ask the question, can I do it? And if the answer is yes, it is a verb. For example, can I do it? Can I succeed? Yes. Then I can succeed. That is, I can do it. So, succeed is a verb. Is success a verb? I can success? No. Definitely, I can success it's not sounding right, because success is a noun in this case. So, this means succeed is a verb. Success is not a verb. In this case, success is a noun. And let us move on to the next part of speech. They are the adjectives. Now, what is an adjective? An adjective is a word that modifies a noun or a pronoun. In fact, adjectives add color, they add life, they add more meaning to the English language. For example, nobody likes to eat a plain pizza. It's so bland, it's boring. And imagine that you are adding a lot of toppings on it, little cheese and olives and chili flakes and maybe lots of vegetables. And then see what happens to the pizza. It becomes very tasty. Adjectives are like the toppings on the pizza. They add color and they add life to the language, and they become more meaningful also. So, they are a very important part of speech for us to understand. And they usually modify a noun or a pronoun. And they are very common because the second largest group of English words are adjectives. About 23% of words in the English language are adjectives. And they also bring out the qualities of people, things and concepts. And they can be considered, like we said, like a decoration. It adds life to the sentences, and that is how adjectives work. Let us look at some examples for you to understand them better. Now, we have some examples here. Let us first take the first set of words, like excited and first. Seema was excited when she won the first prize. Now, which is the adjective here? The underlined words are the adjective. Excited and first. The same sentence could be said, Seema won the prize. It is a meaningful, complete sentence. But when we say Seema was excited when she won the first prize, it adds a lot of meaning to the sentence. It tells us how Seema felt when she won it. How did she feel? She was excited. And what prize did she win? She won the first prize. That is the power of adjectives. Let us look at the next example. We have two adjectives there again, brave and helpless. The brave soldiers saved the helpless civilians. The sentence could be, the soldiers saved the civilians. It does make sense. But then, the minute we say the brave soldiers, we use an adjective to describe the soldiers. And then we say the helpless civilians, the sentence becomes completely different. The meaning also alters. So, the brave soldiers saved the helpless civilians. Because of the adjectives, the sentence becomes better and more meaningful. Let's move on to the third set, delicious and special. Mother cooked some delicious dishes for the special guests. Now, what did mother cook? Some delicious dishes. So, delicious is an adjective we are using to explain the dishes, and special guests special is the adjective for the guests. So, and let's move on to the last set here, exciting and unforgettable. Our trek up the Himalayas was an exciting and unforgettable experience. You must have noticed that we have two adjectives here to describe the same noun, experience. It is possible to use as many adjectives as you want, provided we use them in the right order. That we will discuss in another class. So, how do we know whether a word is an adjective? Very easy. We just ask a few questions. Now we ask, what kind of a noun is it? And when you ask the question, what kind of dishes did mother cook? If the answer is some delicious dishes, then delicious is an adjective that describes the dish. So adjectives are very powerful to convey the meaning better and add meaning, extra meaning, and it brings language to life in short. Let us move on to the next part of speech, the adverbs. Now, adverbs are words that we use to give more information about a verb, an adjective, another adverb, or even a whole sentence. Now, there is a lot of work that adverbs do. They have a big role in language. Now, adverb has many uses, you know. Adverbs are all sort of different kinds, and let us see how many kinds of adverbs we have. We have the adverb of manner. And how do we know whether it is an adverb manner? Simple. Ask the question how. And if you get the answer, it is an adverb of manner. Let us look at this example. The lady walked slowly. Now try asking the question, how did the lady walk? And you get the answer, the lady walked slowly. So slowly is an adverb of manner. And then we have the adverb of time. They called the police immediately. Now how do we find out? Simple. Ask the question, when? When did they call the police? They called the police immediately. It is an adverb of time. And then we have the adverb of frequency. He never goes for a walk. So what is the question that we ask? How often does he go for a walk? And we get the answer, he never goes for a walk. So definitely it is an adverb of frequency. And then we have the adverb of degree. The building was completely destroyed in the fire. Now how do we know whether it is an adverb of degree? We just ask the question, how much? So how much of the building was destroyed in the fire? And the answer we get is, the building was completely destroyed in the fire. So completely is an adverb of degree. And then we move on to the next one, adverb, where the adverb can modify a complete sentence. So how do we test that? Under what circumstance? We ask the question, under what circumstance? And if we get the answer, then it is an adverb which is modifying the complete sentence. Let us look at this example. Luckily, nobody was hurt in the fire. We could say, nobody was hurt in the fire. It is perfectly fine. But then, the minute we add the adverb luckily, an extra meaning comes to it. So this word luckily, adverb luckily, is defining the whole sentence, nobody was hurt in the fire. So these are the different kinds of adverbs that we have. We have adverb of manner, adverb of place, time, frequency, degree, and sometimes it defines the whole sentence. So is there a way of finding out whether a word is an adverb? Let's see. A test for adverbs. A very good way to identify an adverb is to ask any of those questions you see on the top in block, like how. You have this how here. Ask how, where, when, how often, how much, and under what circumstance. And the minute you ask these questions and you get the answer, you will know for sure that it is an adverb of whichever. It could be of manner, place, time, frequency, degree, or the word could be defining the complete sentence. So let us move on to the next part of speech. And then let us look at some examples. And what are the words that usually convey the meaning of the different kinds of adverbs? Let us look at some examples. You can look at them and you can use them also in your speech whenever possible. For adverb of manner, that is, the words that are usually used are quickly, happily, carefully, slowly, sadly, completely, definitely. They are all the words that you can use. You can try making sentences of your own or try to use them when you speak. And then we have the place, adverb of place, and you get the answers. Like you can use these words like here, there, somewhere, at school, around here. These are the adverbs of place. And then we have the adverb of time. How do we get them? You just ask the question with when. And these are the words that you can use to frame sentences with adverbs of manner, adverbs of time, like now. When did you arrive? I came just now. Now is an adverb. Similarly, then, immediately, later, afterwards, they are all used to indicate adverb of time. And then we have the adverb of frequency, like always. How often do you go for a walk? I always go for a walk. How often do you go for a movie? Oh, I occasionally go for a movie. So here, occasionally. So all these words like now and then, often, usually, sometimes, seldom. Seldom means not very often, never. They are all adverbs of frequency. You can try using them when you speak. And then we have the adverb of degree. How much? Quite. How was the match? Oh, it was quite boring. Rather. Oh, how was the weather? Oh, it was rather hot. And then very, completely, just. You can use any of these words to indicate adverb of degree. And then we have adverbs that define or modify the complete sentence, like fortunately. Fortunately, nobody was hurt in the accident. Unfortunately, India lost the match. Shockingly. These are all words that you could use in everyday language speaking. Shockingly, luckily. Luckily, I found my mobile phone. So these are the adverbs that you should use in everyday speech if you want to improve your language and to become more confident in your speaking. Now, let us look at the interjection. Now, what is an interjection? Now, interjection is a word that expresses the strong emotion. It could be a surprise, or it could be a joy or a disgust. And it usually appears in dialogues and informal writing. We don't use it in our official letters. Interjection, they are very lively. They add a lot of color to the language. But remember, they are not used in formal language, not in formal writing, but maybe when you're having a chat with your friends or you're talking to somebody at home or with your colleague, you can use it, but not otherwise. And they all come with an exclamation mark. That is a unique feature of an interjection. Let us see how they work. Now, look at this sentence. It was an adventurous trip. Now, we are talking about a sentence. It was an adventurous trip. So, somebody is talking about an adventurous trip. It sounds very exciting. Now, how does it change? How does the meaning change, or how does the impact change when we use an interjection? Let us say, brrr, what an adventure. You know, the word brrr with an exclamation mark. What happens? It shows, oh my God, it was a very dangerous situation. Somehow we managed to get out of it. What an adventure. So, how the meaning completely changes. It was an adventurous trip is just an ordinary sentence. But the minute we used an interjection, brrr, what an adventure, the meaning comes out different. The excitement, the fear or the surprise, everything comes out in a better way. That is what interjections are for. Let us move on to another example. Unfortunately, we missed the bus. Now, somebody has missed the bus, and definitely it is an unfortunate situation. Now, the meaning is coming out, is brought out very well, but then is there a better way of doing it with an exclamation mark? Let's see. Alas, we missed the bus. Now, the interjection here is alas. Alas, we missed the bus. So what happens? The disappointment is brought out. Alas, we missed the bus. So the word alas and the exclamation mark, together they bring out the impact in a better way. They bring out the disappointment or the surprise or the discomfort of the situation in a better way. Let us look at another example. We just managed to escape. Now, here's somebody in another exciting situation. We just managed to escape. Now, how can we make this a bit more interesting? Would you like to try? Let's see that. Phew, that was a narrow escape. Again, look at the exclamation mark here. Phew, that was a narrow escape. We must remember, with interjections, it is not enough if you just use the word and use an exclamation mark. The way you say it also should match the interjection. We don't say, "Oh, that was a narrow escape." It doesn't sound exciting. So the way you say it should match the word that you have used. You should say it in the right way. "Oh, that was a narrow escape." So it brings out the meaning in a very nice way. That is the power of the interjection. Let us look at another example. Unfortunately, we lost the match by a narrow margin. Now, this is a very disappointing situation. It happens to India all the time. We lose a match by a run, and then all of us are very sad. Now, is there a way of describing it with an interjection? "Oh dear, we lost the match by a run." See, the interjection, "oh dear," and the way we say it, everything should match, and the emotion behind the sentence is brought out completely. So that is how the interjection works. This is the last example. Now, she looks very beautiful. That's a very nice sentence. Somebody is looking beautiful. Is there a way you can say, you can give a compliment to somebody? "Hey, you look very beautiful." Let's see. "Wow, how beautiful she is." So the word "wow," this is a very commonly used interjection. We use it very often. We use it for everything. Wow. So, "Wow, how beautiful she is." Now, that is another interjection that we have. So, these are the interjections. Now, what we have to remember about the interjection is we don't use interjections with in informal situations. We use them only in very casual setups, or definitely we don't use them in formal writing. So, the way you talk the sentence or the way you say the sentence also should match the exclamation mark to bring out the meaning in a very good way. So, with that we have come to the end of this session. So, what is it that we have studied? And before we wind up, it would be very good to have a very quick practice test for you. So, you can pause the video before you do the test. You can make some notes also if you wish. Let us look at the answers now. Hema works in the university. Now, works. What kind of, what part of speech is it? Definitely it is a verb. It is an action, is working. He is slow in his work. It is an adjective. And why is it an adjective? It is describing he. He could be anybody. It could be Ramesh, Suresh, Ravi, Rajesh, anybody. So, whoever it is slow. It is describing how he is. And let's move on to the third one. The children scream loudly. It is an adverb. And why is it an adverb? It is modifying the verb scream. So, how do the children scream? They screamed loudly. So, it is an adverb. Do you remember the address? Now, remember, it is a verb. Definitely it is not an action verb, it is a verb. It was a thrilling experience for all of us. So, it is an adjective. What kind of experience was it? It was a thrilling experience. Please refer to the textbook for more information. Refer is an action. What are we supposed to be doing? It is an action that we do. Refer to the book for more information. So it is a verb. So with that, we have come to the end of this first part. We looked at nouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives and interjection. So you can go back to the video and do the practice test again so that you understand the concept and the form and function of the parts of speech that we have discussed today. I hope this session was interesting. Thank you very much. See you another time.